Singapore's complex mix of Chinese, Malay, Indian, and Eurasian communities have all contributed to the country's unique tapestry of traditions and practices unlike anything else in the world. Visible from the mainland, just across the Serangoon harbor, sits Pulau Ubin, a lush, mostly deserted jungle island whose beautiful scenery masks hidden dangers, including wild boars, venomous snakes, and even tigers. But according to the locals, at night, the island's threats become the undead, specifically a vengeful female spirit known across Southeast Asia as a Pontianak. Over the last few decades, Pulau Ubin's population has plummeted from a few thousand residents to just a few dozen. Most shockingly, in recent months, several visitors have gone missing, and they've even turned up dead. I'm sending my film crew there now to find out if sinister forces have turned Pulau Ubin into the island of the damned. Across every ocean,
it is not too secure, too safe to get there.
Lurking deep within the darkness, evil forces are preying upon the living.
Exorcisms are on the rise in Mexico.
I am sending a camera crew across the globe to document these events. I am Bagans, and this is Destinations of the Damned. My crew wants to talk to people who've had dangerous paranormal encounters at Pulau Ubin, so they know what they're getting into before going there themselves.
I will never camp in Pulau Ubin again because today I am still traumatized by that incident.
In early 2023, a social media video went viral about a terrifying night of camping on the island. My team catches up with its creator, Isabel, in Singapore. She refuses to return with them to Pulau Ubin.
It was in the middle of the night when I looked up at the trees surrounding us and I saw a bunch of spirits in white just sitting on the branches of the trees.
I didn't know whether they were like looking at me or whether they knew that I was like awake or not, but I felt so scared that I just started to like cry, and then I cried myself to sleep.
The next morning, I actually asked my friends if anyone else had experienced anything, and my then boyfriend said that shortly after I woke him up, he woke up himself and he also saw what I saw. People have called me crazy, or like I need to get some mental checkup done because I shouldn't be able to see these things. Most Singaporeans actually do believe in the paranormal. So there is a superstition in Singapore that tells you, especially at night, not to look up into the trees wherever you are, just so you don't see any one of these things because they are known to hang around trees.
Ghosts living in the trees is only one of the many legends haunting Pulau Ubin. Another, perhaps even more prolific, is the spirit of what is referred to simply as the German girl. In the early 1900s, there was a coffee plantation on the island owned by a German family with a teenage daughter. In 1914, World War I spreads across the globe. At the time, Singapore was a British colony, so British soldiers were ordered to round up all of the German nationals on Pulau Ubin. As these troops closed in on the coffee plantation, the young daughter escaped and fled into the forest. Days later, her corpse was discovered covered in ants. To this day, her death remains shrouded in mystery. This tragic event left a profound mark on the island. A shrine was built as a final resting place for her remains. Lorenzo, a paranormal investigator who has explored the island before, initially planned to accompany us to Pulau Ubin, but now he's suddenly had a change of heart. Recently becoming a father, he expresses concerns about bringing anything potentially dangerous back from Pulau Ubin to his newborn son.
I don't want any spirits to follow me home and cause harm to me and my family.
A few years ago, he visited the island with a group of friends. On this occasion, they brought a spirit board and conducted a seance.
We asked a few questions like the ethnicity of the spirit, and after that, I started to feel weak. My legs were trembling, I started to feel dizzy. I assumed that it's possession, and they told me that I wasn't myself. My eyes looked different.
He has no recollection of what transpired next.
When I woke up, my team members told me that I was speaking a name called Alice.
Is it possible Lorenzo's experience was directly related to the spirit of the German girl?
There was no documentation of the girl's name, so I suspect that this name Alice is somehow related. I felt sad, but also felt angry.
He felt compelled to revisit the island a few years later, curious to discover if the spirit would still recognize him.
The spirit remembered me because I called out his name. We all could felt a presence, an evil presence. It wasn't directed to them, it's directed to me. I know how evil the spirit is over there.
Lorenzo's friend, who was with him the night he was possessed, originally agreed to go to the island with us, but has also suddenly backed out. As night falls and my crew prepares to leave for the island to begin their investigation, a third paranormal witness named Melvin also suddenly backs out of returning to the island with them.
Melvin, the next interview, did not want to come. He's a bit too scared.
Scared of what? Scared to go to the
Scared to
island?
go to the
He won't
island.
go back.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
he
just
won't go
like
back.
totally.
Second person that won't go on the island.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Third, you add in Isabel.
Oh, that's right.
Three people that won't go back that have
Yeah.
been there.
What is happening on this island that has people who've been there before too terrified to return? Despite warnings from 3 locals against traveling to Pulau Ubin at night, my crew and 2 paranormal investigators load onto a small boat to begin the journey. As the crew arrives on the island for the first time, they're greeted by what's left of the small village on the southern shore and are surprised to find a festival dedicated to the spirits of the dead.
We need to check this out. There's a Taoist medium who looks like he's in trance because today is Vesak Day. Right? So it's celebrated by Buddhists in Singapore and all over Southeast Asia. So let's go check it out. So he's dressed in all white, he's got his face painted, and apparently he's got one of the Chinese gods in his body.
Vesak, also known as Buddha Day, is the most sacred festival in Buddhism, marking the birth, enlightenment, and death of the Buddha over 2,500 years ago.
The man in black and the man in white, they have the assistance of ladies behind his body now, so he's performing some rituals and blessing.
There are no chairs for the audience watching the stage performance because the performers aren't there for the living.
This performance is for the dead, purely for the dead. So that's why you don't have chairs here, you don't have people sitting and watching this opera performance.
This deeply spiritual island is plagued by yet another entity, the Pontianak. This creature of the undead takes the form of a woman who tragically died with her stillborn child in her womb. The Pontianak is frequently seen beneath tall trees and is often preceded by the sound of an infant crying and the stench of rotting flesh. At first view, the Pontianak appears as a beautiful woman who lures in unsuspecting men. Once trapped, its victims witness it transform into a hideous monster before it disembowels them and drinks their blood. Mr. Yo is my crew's driver for the night. His sister, Madam Yo, was born and raised on the island. She currently operates a bicycle shop.
我是出生在这里有70年有了。
She shares the belief that the island is home to many spirits, including the dangerous Pontianak spirit.
So she says last time her neighbor, they see this lady in the house next door 啦。
以前没有这样多人，比较近就有看到他们。
这种鬼的时候啊，你没有注意他就给你看一下子啊，你想要看的就没有得看的啦。
你的哦，我姑姑他们有看到，有时候有看到人这样啦，头发长长这样啦。
So according to her, the spirit is not very clear. So once you see it, it just disappears after you see it.
有的人他运气不好，他就会给人家看到这些东西，不是每个人会看到的这种东西。运气不好呢，你就会中邪。我跟你讲。
Noel has been investigating Southeast Asia for the past 15 years. He and his friends visited the island 10 years ago, but what he experienced has left a profound mark on his memory.
10 years ago, I came here, I could hear somebody singing. It was a female. That was the most beautiful voice ever, man.
A female spirit whom he believed to be a Pontianak attached herself to him.
Very beautiful, and then once I come closer to her, and then you see this ugly, decomposed face. When I close my eyes now, after 10 years, I can still hear her voice. And the day after that, I started waking up with this fever. I was vomiting, and I would dream of her, and I couldn't move in this dream. And it went on for about a week. Started losing a lot of weight. Didn't want to go out of my house, so a friend brought me to a Thai medium. They can go into trance and they will know what's wrong with you. And he said that a female from a cemetery is in love with me and she wants me. He did prayers and all, and then after a while, those dreams stopped. Here goes nothing.
As Noel dangerously steps foot into the jungle forest of Pulau Ubin, memories of being attacked here 10 years ago come rushing back.
Right place. Oh, now I remember this place. Okay. It's been 10 years since I stepped into this place. I'm ready to face you again. If you are that female that was singing, can you please give us a sign?
Noel and his partner aren't picking up on any activity. They regroup at the van, and Noel decides to go back in alone.
Got it. All right,
Okay.
go for it.
All right, man.
Good luck.
Thank you.
He is braving a snake-infested jungle in pitch-black darkness, on the hunt for Southeast Asia's most dangerous entity, the feared Pontianak.
I thought I heard footsteps behind me.
At this time, my crew meets with another paranormal team who wants to investigate a different graveyard deeper within the jungles of Pulau Ubin. This is the Chinese cemetery. World War II brought death and violence back to this tiny island. During the Japanese invasion of Singapore, Pulau Ubin was captured by the Imperial Japanese Army, leading to one of the darkest chapters in Singapore's history. The infamous Suk Ching massacre resulted in the killing of thousands of Chinese civilians suspected of anti-Japanese sentiment. The memories of these tragic events linger in the haunting atmosphere of the cemeteries, serving as a solemn reminder of the island's tumultuous past.
The entities found in our part of the world, they tend to be very angry and vengeful. So as a regular guy, I wouldn't go around provoking them simply because you'd have to figure out how to get rid of them after that. So that's always the trick, right? Like it's easy to get a response, but what if they follow you home? I've met investigators who have had these things follow them home. And the difficult part after that is, what if it starts affecting your family?
Back on the other side of the island, Noel starts doing exactly what you shouldn't, provoking and directly engaging with the Pontianak.
Just know that 10 years ago, man, things were really, really bad for me because I came here I'm here to tell you I don't mean you any harm because there's no way that I can harm you. But you obviously can harm me. So I want to know, why did you do that to me? Simple. So maybe you can show yourself, and then we can have this conversation that I've been waiting to have for 10 freaking years. Oh, what's that sound? I am out of breath. I'm near the top. My voices, like whispers. I'm gonna leave here stronger than ever before, man, knowing that I conquered this.
Kim and Sham take my crew to the shrine of the German girl, the young girl who died here during World War I. Her shrine is a well-known hotspot for paranormal activity.
According to the driver, while they exhumed the body, they found some hair, small parts of the bone of the girl, and
coins, right?
Yeah, like a German coin on the body.
It's odd to see such an elaborate shrine for a German girl who died mysteriously, and to know that some locals believe this girl's spirit can also possess them. The investigators have to be careful entering her shrine, and they make an offering of snacks so she doesn't possess them.
I'll leave it here. I think it's mine. It shows that it's a sign that she received the offering. Yeah. Thank you.
Our investigators are heading to a popular beach camping site. Many people have reported experiencing paranormal activity here, including Isabel, who made the viral video in which she warned against visiting Pulau Ubin. Melvin, another paranormal witness who backed out of meeting us due to concerns about his safety, had camped on the island during a school trip back in 2005. What started as a night of fun and laughter turned into a scene of horror when several students, including Melvin, overheard a loud voice like that of a rough man gasping and struggling, coming from the tent of one of their classmates. Rattled, Melvin called for a teacher and started walking towards the tent to investigate. After unzipping the tent, they saw one student sitting up, hugging his legs and rocking his body back and forth. The boy had been possessed and developed a high fever. Melvin tells us that this student had been shining a flashlight at the trees earlier in the night.
Hey. Hey, hey. Hey.
As Kim uses dowsing rods, which detect spiritual energy, she noticeably begins acting strange. Immediately, Kim notices something is next to her, and the rods respond as well.
Just a minute, sorry.
She then becomes physically affected in her ears.
Okay. Did you manage to capture that? So, as I walked past, calmly, I just felt something next to me, and I just stopped. And fair enough, the rod started swaying, and then my ears got, I don't know, it's just kind of blocked. Yeah. I don't usually get this kind of feeling. Yeah.
Although Kim attempts to continue on with her investigation, she quickly becomes overwhelmed.
I'll just leave this place right now. Sorry, I don't feel quite comfortable. I'm so sorry. I'm just saying.
What do you think your friends happening?
attachment because I don't know what exactly it is. But yeah, I'm just kind of making sure that the energy doesn't follow me. Sorry.
Evil entities on Pulau Ubin have a tendency to follow people home, as if the living are a way for them to escape the island. These investigators have determined there is too much risk to continuing and have decided to leave whatever is attacking people on this beach alone. After departing Pulau Ubin, my crew discovered a piece of video circulating throughout Singapore's media outlets. It reports that a security officer captured the apparition of the German girl. But some also claim this is actually the Pontianak. Next, we go to a mysterious island more than 8,000 miles from Singapore, where extensive mining may have unleashed an ancient evil on a small, unsuspecting town. There are places in this world that harbor ancient darkness. And one of those places is Bell Island, located in Newfoundland. Though Canada's First Nations people visited this island, they left no archaeological trace. This must mean they avoided this land. Could it be they knew something dangerous was lurking underground?
106 miners that died in the mines themselves. Their spirits are trapped forever in the mines that they died in.
Did miners accidentally unlock a vortex of ancient darkness, releasing monstrous entities that have laid dormant for thousands of years? I'm sending my crew to Bell Island to find out. My crew boards the Legionnaire ferry for the trip across Conception Bay to this mysterious island. Canada is home to more than 52,000 islands, but by far, Bell Island stands above all others as the darkest and most haunted.
There's been a lot of tragedy here on Bell Island over the years. In 1942, German U-boats sank 2 ships right off the shore of Lance Cove. 106 miners lost their lives in the mines as well. Folklore has it that if you died in the mines, your soul is trapped there forever.
For centuries, Bell Island was virtually untouched by man. On occasion, its rocky shores served as a temporary refuge for pirates, stowaways, and bootleggers. But in 1895, iron ore deposits were discovered and something significant happened. Not only were countless tons of iron released from the ground, so too was something sinister. To get some answers, my crew is going to speak with Henry Crane, a lifelong resident and historian of the island.
I've lived on Bell Island for 47 years. Bell Island was settled in 1740 as a farming community, but in 1895 it really took off when the iron ore was discovered. And because of the mega mining town, it attracted people from all over the globe at the time. From Germany, China, the Mideast, Malta, and needless to say, England, Ireland, Scotland, etc., like that. And we became one large community where at one point in time, there was close to 16,000 people living here on this island.
The mining began under the island, then quickly spread out beneath Conception Bay. In fact, Bell Island's network of tunnels is the most extensive undersea mining in the world. As the island was slowly hollowed out by the mines, there was soon talk of fairies and other creatures lurking in the marshes and the shadows. When people hear of fairies, they often think of whimsical creatures filled with joy and magic. But that's not how fairies have been perceived for most of human history. In Europe and elsewhere, fairies could be very dangerous. They've been known to even kill their prey. As night falls, Henry takes us to Dobbin's Garden, known to be haunted by a woman named Mary, who was killed by German U-boat sailors during World War II. No man on the island will enter this area alone at night.
World War II spawned the ghost of Dobbin's Garden. And you look behind and you'll see a young woman. What you think first is a young woman, dressed in a white frock. And then the frock starts to go from white to brown. And now you know this thing's not a young girl anymore. What she is some kind of creature.
There, right over there. What's going on over there?
Huh?
You saw something? Oh, hold on. Come on, let's go check it out.
Griffin's photo. I was just taking pictures of you guys.
And you caught something?
Well, when you zoom in, do you see something right there?
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Does that?
That's like a woman in a dress.
Looking down, right?
Yeah.
What'd you see, boys?
You didn't hear anything? Nothing. Nothing?
What do you see right here in this photo?
Holy
right?
Where's that come from?
I took that. Look, this is just the zoomed out version. This is where we're filming.
Yeah.
And right in the middle, if you zoom all the way in, what does that look like?
It looks like a woman in a dress.
Yeah.
Jesus
as you
Christ.
were talking about it.
Did my crew just capture proof of the lady in white? Next, we need to get underground to search for the fairies of Bell Island. We are finally about to get our first look underground. Henry is leading us out of Dobbin's Garden toward one of the 4 mines that did not spread out beneath the ocean. We are headed to mine number 4. This mine was the site of countless tragic deaths. It is also said to be occupied by the deadly fairies who were blamed for causing fatal accidents. Like the marsh, it was a place the miners were always fearful to enter. Some were so scared they tore out a page of the Bible to keep in their pocket for protection.
Just down that way, it's number 4 mine collar. It is one of the 6 mines that were operational here on the island, and it is one of the 4 underground mines that was here. It was opened in 1916.
Painted crosses represent the exact location where a miner lost his life. These tragically are just 100 feet from the exit.
You'll see right here there's a cross, and right over here there's also another cross.
The men who endured this treacherous profession often spoke of evil fairies living within Bell Island's dark labyrinth. But there was one creature that was feared above all others: the Dark Fairy Queen.
When I was a little boy, my grandmother would say, if you see a beautiful young girl with long black hair walking towards you and you've never seen her before, don't look. Go the other way as fast as you can. You've just met the Fairy Queen.
This omnipotent creature is a shapeshifter that appears as a beautiful woman before revealing its true hideous self. The Dark Fairy Queen, also known as the Bell Island Hag, is so famous here that Canada even put her image on an official postage stamp.
She can be what she wants to be. When she gets into your house, basically you're done.
The evil that surrounds Bell Island is profound. Could the origin of this ancient darkness live deep down in one of the mines? Could these mines be tapping into a vortex that is so powerful it crosses our world together? My crew gets a tip there are some locals at a coffee shop who want to tell them about a strange phenomenon that occurred here in 1978.
There was a strange something from the sky that hit a house in Lance Cove. Moved his house from the foundation, I believe, and no one seems to know where it came from or where it originated from.
3 buildings were hit by something, in one end and out the other. This was a TV set. A barn oddly blown apart, no burns. Dead chickens bleeding from the eyes and mouth, no burns. Nearby in the snow, 3 depressions.
And you heard the big blast. It was like
a thunder, really, right? It shook.
It shook.
And the power went and came back on.
The Bell Island boom occurred on April 2nd, 1978. It was described as being like thunder, but different from any thunder the locals had ever heard. One witness described a loud boom that shook the ground, followed by a ball of light, and then a second ball of light.
Well, first when I saw it, it was about 3 feet in diameter, and it was a circle, and it was mostly blue, but it had a little bit of orange on the edge of it, which sort of like sparks, little tiny sparks coming from it.
Others claim they heard a ringing sound before it happened.
Just before the boom, some people heard a sharp noise, like a tone, while across the bay, people saw a strange beam of light strike the island.
The incident attracted a lot of media attention at the time, but has never been definitively explained. Could this phenomenon be linked to the dark and ancient energy that lives deep beneath the soil here?
Do you know anything about the fairies?
If my brother had been here, he left yesterday, he could tell you some stories.
I know there's fairies in the mines and stuff like that, you know. It was really spooky when I was a young fella hearing about all this stuff, you know, this and that.
And they're really, well, from what I was told, they're real true stories.
Okay.
Probably find some people that know about it in here in the Dicks. Go in the Dicks.
It seems as if everyone in town has a story to tell about fairies. Just steps away, my crew meets another local who also knows of these fairies.
Usually they're in the marshes, the bogs, the mines, the swamps, you know?
They're in the mines.
Yeah.
So they wander around all these abandoned mines. But I gotta say, I mean, you can't go deep into the mines. You just sort of like...
Oh, yeah, you can.
This gentleman offers to take my crew to an abandoned mine located on the edge of the ocean. This area is extremely dangerous due to the brittle nature of the stone that makes up these cliffs. In fact, what the crew is traversing are stones that have fallen from hundreds of feet above their heads.
Be very, very careful all around here.
Could access to these long-forgotten mines actually offer us a glimpse of the notorious Bell Island fairies?
Now we're getting into the good stuff. We're here to see fairies.
Oh my God, that's nice. Whoa, look at all these tracks.
Yeah. So, these are dated back 100 years ago.
Suddenly, our local guide realizes his phone is missing.
I don't know if I may have dropped the cell phone. It's definitely not on me.
He says this is a trick that the entities down here will pull to get people alone.
Now this right here is a fairy trick. They'll do something like this.
So then you're not going back alone. You got it. Someone has to go with you. They said specifically the ghost comes out when one man is alone.
Even though they retrace their steps outside, the local guide never finds his phone.
It is what it is. Like I said, the fairies are fairies, you know. I mean, they weren't exactly happy to have us down there. So one of us had to lose something.
Despite the warning that the entities in the mines don't want us there, my crew re-enters and discovers something disturbing.
What is that?
Oh, that's a sculpin. So that's a fish head.
Yeah.
So something brought that up here and ate it. There's something living. That thing looks like it was about 5 or 6 pounds once upon a time.
What kind of creature would come up into the mines?
The darkness and activity on Bell Island is extreme. Did my crew stumble upon a fairy feeding room? Are there entities here waiting to possess anyone they can catch alone? What are these dark entities that seem to reside deep in the mines of Bell Island? What are the restless spirits, like the woman in white, or the evil fairies who attack you when you're alone? To try and answer these questions, my crew is meeting with local paranormal investigator Justin Foley, who lives in the nearby town of St. John's, to see if we can communicate with any of the entities that roam this island.
You must be Justin?
I am, yes. Justin Foley, how are you?
Good to meet you.
You as well. Here in Newfoundland, we have a very strong folklore of both ghosts and fairies, and a bunch of the other classics as well. And I've always had a deep interest in it, and now I'm really excited to have a chance to actually get out here and see if I can find some proof of it. Ground gets kind of uneven here. Heard something from out this way. I'm looking for the spirit of the lady who was killed by German soldiers in this area. Are you here? Do you chase people because you're lonely? Yeah, I heard that. Holy crap.
My crew captures an unexplainable light in the distance that brightens and then disappears and is never seen again.
That's a little bit unnerving. Are you here in front of us, like right now? Are you playing games? Are you trying to say hello?
Suddenly, my crew hears a woman scream nearby.
I just took it out to show you guys just then, just to kind of get a sense of what was going on.
Did you hear that?
Did you hear that? No, I didn't.
It was a girl screaming. I just heard a girl scream.
Holy
Like close.
Totally heard that.
Yeah.
People say that when they see you, you're chasing them. Do you mean them harm? Whoa! Holy crap! That was a laugh, and that was not a very nice laugh.
This is compelling because Justin has been using his ITC device for quite a while, and no voices have come through. But now, a female menacing laugh is heard and shakes up my crew.
Whoa! Whoa!
The activity in Dobbin's garden seems strong. There's the picture that my crew believes shows a woman in a dress from the night before, and now this evidence that Justin believes he's captured. But what does it want? Justin and my crew head to mine number 2 to continue the investigation.
Did we lose somebody? All right, watch your head. All right. How do you feel about us being in here? See that flash? Yeah, there was like a flash. We're talking about fairies a lot. There's fairies, there's also fairy lights is something that we hear about and has been part of legends. Try the EMF reader again.
Did you hear that?
What?
You don't hear a loud banging?
Farther down the mine, this loud banging is captured on one of Justin's microphones he left rolling. Then, after this occurs, an unexplained, unintelligible whisper is then captured on the microphone. Right after this event, without alerting anyone, my producer Griffin immediately leaves the mine with a debilitating migraine and begins to vomit profusely. He would then complain of strange dreams and headaches for close to a month. What are the banging sounds, flashing lights, and whispers in mine number 2? Is this residual energy playing on a loop? Or is this something more sinister that lives in the catacombs of the mines, wanting to draw the living deeper and deeper into the darkness?